Hi there, how's it going? Welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. I'm TP Boomer. I would just like to, well, obviously you've seen the title of the video. This is literally a full streaming setup, all in one system, two dual GPUs with two monitors, keyboard, mouse, headset, full peripherals and monitors, dual setup. And let me just go through the listings. First, I think I'm going to pull up 4090 prices. Obviously, at the moment of this search, we are just stepping into Black Friday prices. So there's a possibility that, you know, something might crop up. But yeah, here we've got. Obviously some of this is lies, but we've got here like £2,000. I would say that's probably a real price. This one here, £2,000 is the real price. £2,000. In the UK, you're looking at about £2,000 for a 4090 at the minute. Got a Supreme there on eBay for 1900. That's kind of worth buying. Water cooled as well. But yeah, anyway, so we're looking at like 1900 to £2,000. So let's go jump over to the part picker where I've got the got all the parts listed up. So yeah, this is basically what I can show you on. You obviously can make your own decisions. Like for example, you might have the majority of this system or better. And you only have to add a couple of little bits, but you'll get to see how well I'm going to show you how well it works as a recording AV1 and gameplay over a number of few games. You'll be able to see how my setup works and how well the quality of recording is in general. And then I'll show you what this thing can look like. But yeah, so start off, we've got a 12900K. You could go with the 13700K if you wanted. Basically same chip, a bit more efficient. It all depends on pricing. I personally have a 12900KS in here. The only reason I have that is because I got the chip cheap. Cheap, apparently faulty. I've never had a single issue with it. I did find a couple of like blobs of crap on the contacts underneath. I cleaned them off. I've not had a problem with it since, so I kind of got lucky there. Arctic Liquid Freezer 360. I've got a 240 in here, kind of had the cooler before the CPU. I intend to add a radiator in there because, you know, that's what I do. I like to ruin my warranty for your entertainment. So that'll come up as a video. Because I'm just literally going to add a radiator into the loop, a little 120. It's going to mean that that's getting fresh air drawn into it, and that is the last protocol before it hits the block on the CPU. So hopefully it might help me out a little, because she's a hot chip. So the motherboard, I use this Asus ProArt B660 Creator. I'm going to explain to you why I use this specific motherboard. I can explain it to you literally with this photo. It's this DisplayPort in. Don't get me wrong, you will see that I use both of these ports. It just sort of piggybacks. It allows a tiny bit more bandwidth over my line when I'm using the both of them. So it is what it is. But this is why I use this motherboard. This DisplayPort in. Now I don't know if all the DisplayPorts these days are a DisplayPort in, but this is the last one of the ProArt boards that actually specifically states that that's a DP in, and that DP in is basically a pass through for this this Type C here. So what you do is you run a DisplayPort from your gaming GPU straight up into this port, and then it uses a pass through for 240 hertz to this. Now what I do is, which you'll see, is I use my iGPU to send out the second image of my gaming. So basically I game on my graphics card, on my gaming card, then I use that pass through, and then I use the iGPU to send out a duplicate of that gameplay and send it out to my capture card, which then comes back at the system, and then my second GPU I use to run OBS. Yeah, it's long-winded, but I personally think that I get better quality because of it. There's nothing in the system that necessarily says that using this pass-through helps this out, except for when I plugged this in and started using the pass-through instead of just coming straight off the iGPU, it actually reduced the iGPU usage by about, I don't know, about 10%, 5 to 10%. So to me, that just tells me that it's using that pass-through, and it really does do a good job. And let's be honest, this is definitely not producing the FPS and stuff in game that you will witness. So yeah, let's get back to the listing. So yeah, I've got 32 gigs of 3600 CL18, pretty much run of the mill. Literally this set. I've got 4 DIMMs. I would rather have 2 DIMMs if given a choice. I just happen to have 16 gigs in there, and I added 16 gigs. So it's still the same RAM. This set would probably be a tiny bit quicker because it's 2 DIMMs instead of the 4. But yeah, that's the RAM that I use on this system for what you're going to see as recording. So yeah, on storage, what I use is I've got a Seagate Barracuda Compute 2TB, this 7200 RPM hard drive. I leave that in the back. That's my E drive. So you'll see it later because I'm gonna leave up my task manager sort of summary view so that you can see that everything is working on board whilst the gameplay is happening. Most of them I'll throw up a frame counter, but I'll be honest with you, all of the games are literally set to my settings. For example, Forza Horizon 5, I use full ray tracing in that. Also Halo, I use full Sunray ray tracing in that. And Doom Eternal, I fully ray trace that out. GTA, I literally turn everything on that game. I play it about that one. The frame counter from Xbox was having issues, and I couldn't be arsed going through Steam to put one up and stuff. So you just have to take my word that basically it plays between 80 and 110 FPS with lows of about 75 of really 1%. Yeah, that's just personal choice. I'm just basically showing you that the system doesn't get impacted too much by the fact that you're doing all this as well. Certainly with this CPU, it's doing all right. So yeah, this compute drive, I basically use that for my storage, for my videos, and all basically everything I record goes onto that drive. That's basically all it's used for. This Crucial P5 Plus 2TB, that's my gaming drive. So all my games sit on that drive, and I use the top PCIe slot for that drive so that it is as close to my GPU as it can possibly be. It's literally, they share lanes basically. And then this P3 Plus, I've actually got a Lexar 610, but they're basically the same drive. Except for my Lexar's, I think it's Gen 3x4, so it's a bit slower. But for 51 quid, like you can't really argue on that. It's basically the same. So this would be my boot drive. I use it for my boot drive, but I also put any sort of apps and stuff like that onto there, so they're out the way. Now onto the graphics cards. I use a 3060 12 gig. it's heavily modded and heavily overclocked. I run her on a daily basis, daily drive it at 2.14 gigahertz on both the GPU and GPU clocks and the memory clocks. So they're very even with each other, and it runs nice. And then obviously as a AV1 encoder and basically an OBS GPU, I use the ARC A380 6 gig, really cheap little thing. Let's be honest, if you've got the rest of this system pretty much set up, your motherboard and all that, basically if you just buy one of these and dump it in your rig, as long as you've got at least 20 PCIe lanes, just so that both of these cards can have eight each, and you can leave 4 spare for your game drive. As long as you've got that, you're fine. And let's be honest, a lot of these, like at least Intel boards, if you're putting an M.2 in that top slot, you're basically reducing your graphics card down to 8 lanes anyway, because that slot usually shares the 16 lanes that goes to that top slot. So if you've got an M.2 in that top slot, there's more often than not you're reducing your graphics card down to 8 lanes anyway, so you're kind of leaving 8 on the table if you've got 20 to play with. So I basically fill that up with another graphics card. But as you'll see, it works really well. This NZXT H6 Flow ATX, I basically picked it because I use a O11 clone, and the price for an O11 in this list is like 170 quid, whereas this is more close to the sort of money that I paid for it. So you can pick up an O11 clone for between this and 100 quid. And it'll be packed full of fans. They won't be great fans, but airflow is airflow, you know. Power supply, I use a 750 watt in here. It's plenty for this particular system. I use a EVGA, you can probably see it in the background, EVGA 750 GT, but again, in this listing, that power supply is like 170 quid, and I paid like 100 quid for this one. So, and it was new. So this, for a 750 watt power supply, 80 plus gold, this gigabyte seems to just be sweet. I mean, for 78 quid you can't go wrong, can you? So, oh, we lost the second monitor. We'll have to add one in. Cheap as chips, anything cheap, really. Any of these, to be honest. Like, the whole point of the second monitor is it's cheap, and it's there, and it's somewhere for you to put, you know, put your OBS on. It's not important of how good a monitor is or whatever. I mean, obviously, if you can get an IPS panel, get an IPS panel so that it's matching your other one or whatever. So at least they're the same image as such. So. What's a half? Does it matter? Asus 22-inch, basically 1080p, 75 Hz, IPS panel, 90 quid. But to be honest, you've probably got a monitor lying around and stuff like this. I had a Dell one up. It was like 60, 70 quid. It was an IPS, but. I would only say IPS just so the screens have a chance of being the same sort of coloration and lighting, because the other monitor I picked out is an IPS. So I'll just chuck that in. So I did say two monitors for the price. So we have the Asus here. We'll get rid of that one now because there's no price for it. So yeah, I've just got, it's just a loser level monitor to just have in the background. I know people, I would much prefer 2 monitors that look the same. Jay, if you end up watching this video at any point, I'm sorry bro, but if you can find me two monitors where one of them you would actually be happy to game on, that are of the same size and the same brand and look the same for the collective price of these two, then no problem. This monitor here, I've actually watched a few reviews on it, and it seems to have really good sort of motion rendering stuff. It reviewed really well. The only thing anyone said was it has a really short stand. So all I would recommend if you went with this monitor is that you either have an arm setup or you have something for it to sit on so that you can get it up to height. But 27-inch 165Hz monitor, and I genuinely I did make sure that I was reviewing this exact monitor, and I did, and for the price it's a little corker, you know. 165Hz refresh rate, apparently 1 millisecond response time, IPS, you know, HDR10. It's not curved or anything, but you know, flat screen, it's all good. Yeah, so good little monitor. And onto the keyboard and stuff. Yes, I have literally put in a loser level keyboard. Now, this ain't nothing special, look at it. Right, it ain't nothing special. It wasn't intended to be anything special. The fact of the matter is, it's 13 quid and it's Logitech, so the buttons are gonna be okay, the latency isn't gonna be too bad, and to save a buck you can get away with you know, buying a bit of a looser keyboard. A decent keyboard is sort of a nice to have rather than a necessary, whereas a decent mouse is a necessity, not a nice to have. And for 36 quid all in delivered, this little Logitech G305, it's always where I fall down to, especially on budget sort of level. It's got excellent Bluetooth, so it's like faster than cable Logitech Lightning. It has the Hero sensor, but I think it's only the 16K sensor or 14.5K. More than enough. It's quick enough. You're gonna have no problems with it. It's completely wireless. It does use old school you know, Jurassic fucking batteries, but it takes one AA battery and it'll last you like a year. I use a 703. I have to charge this thing every few days. You tell me which one's using having more of a carbon footprint. Me with this being charged 3 to 4 days, or that Logitech mouse where you put one battery in it and you forget about it for the year. And just to round it up, I literally threw in some headphones, just because they're 50 quid, 51 quid, some HyperX Cloud Alphas, a decent enough headset, and all of this is for under £2,000. All of it. So yeah, I mean, do you want a 4090 or do you want something that's going to be able to do everything that you want it to do all under one roof? And if I guess you're probably wondering what this kind of system would look like. Well, before I show you that, let's have a look what she's capable of, eh? So let me run through a few games for you and show you what she can do. Full recording on board, and it's all 1080p 60 fps. Just remember that, and yeah, let's have a look at it.
incoming.
We're not losing today.
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped.
An ally has slain the carrier. Left him in.
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped.
Ally has slain the carrier.
Visibility will be affected. Gas is closing in. Since we depart. Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone. Supply crates are restocked. Advise you load up now. Gas is moving. Incoming. Hostile UAV.
Fuck off. I don't know what the fuck I flew.
Hostile UAV overhead.
So, how do you think she got on? I think it does well. Like I said to you before, full transparency, I do lose, depending on game, about 10 to 20 FPS using the iGPU for the second monitor, but with the quality that I kick out for stream and stuff, like I'm kind of okay with it. I don't really notice it that missing. I don't have a problem with the gameplay. But yeah, I mean, take away from this video what you want to take away from it. Feel free to pipe up in the comments what you think and how you think it got on. All of these recordings were done in AV1, and yeah, let me know what you think. If you're wondering why I don't have AMD in my system, and let's be honest, there's plenty of people in the tech YouTube space that are happy to suck on the big toe of AMD right now. I'm just not one of them. I'm here bringing you an alternative. At least you will know now what your rig would be able to, the idea of what your rig would be able to produce with like the RK380, just as a piggyback. I mean, you might have a better card. I'm showing you what it can do with a 3060, but obviously mileage may vary depending on what card you use, you know. So yeah, why don't we end this video with a quick little montage of what I've got the system looking like, and yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll look forward to reading your comments. Bye.